The space mining station floated quietly near a dead moon. It was called Station 17, cold, lonely, and far from Earth. Only 23 people worked there, and most of them didn't talk much. Everyone followed a routine. Nothing strange ever happened. Until today. Jack was a repair engineer. He had been on the station for 6 months. He knew every face, every voice, every hallway. He could even tell who was coming by just the sound of their boots. But today, someone new had arrived. It started during the night cycle. Jack was alone in the control room when the lights suddenly went out. A full power cut. That never happened here. The backup system always worked. But this time, it didn't. The emergency. Lights stayed dark. It was completely silent. Jack stood still, listening. Then he heard it. Soft footsteps coming down the hall. One step. Then another. Not fast. Not heavy. Calm. Slow. Like someone walking without fear. Jack called out, "Hello? Who's there?" No answer. Then the power came back. The lights blinked on. Jack turned around and saw her. A girl was standing in the doorway. She had long black hair, pale skin, and eyes that seemed too bright. She wore a standard crew uniform. Her hands were warm around a cup of coffee. She didn't speak. She just looked at him, smiled once, and walked past. Jack blinked. He had never seen her before. She wasn't part of the team. New arrivals always came with alerts. This time, nothing. No log, no message. He opened the system records. Her name was listed as Lena Amira, assigned yesterday. But that couldn't be right. No ship had arrived. No shuttle, he checked. The security logs. No arrival. No entry, no movement, nothing. Jack rubbed his eyes. Maybe the system was wrong. The next day, he watched her. She worked in the engine bay, quietly, quickly. She knew things most newcomers didn't. She fixed a plasma valve without needing the manual. She rewired a control panel that Jack himself had worked on for hours last week. She never ate in the mess hall. She always sat alone. Her eyes always seemed to glow a little in the dark. Something was off. Jack tried to ask the others, but they just shrugged. "She's probably from command," someone said. "Or a test program." But Jack didn't believe that. He checked her file again. Her ID number was strange. It didn't match Earth or Mars registry. Her medical scan showed no blood type. Just a blank that night. Jack followed her. She walked out of her room at 2:13 and moved silently down the hallway. Jack kept his distance. She entered the oxygen plant, where air was recycled for the whole station. The door closed behind her. Jack waited. 10 minutes. 30. 1 hour. 3 hours passed. Then, suddenly, the door opened. She walked out, calm and quiet, just like before. She didn't see Jack. She returned to her room and vanished inside. Jack ran to the oxygen plant. It was completely empty. No tools had been moved. No logs of anyone entering. No sign she had even been there. What was she doing in there? The next day, Jack made a secret recording of her humming in the hallway. It wasn't a human song. The melody had strange notes, like a code. He ran it through the translation software used for alien signals. One phrase came back: "Do not let the humans find out." Jack felt his chest tighten. Was she not human? He stayed up late, rechecking everything. Her fingerprints, eye scan, even her shadow in different lighting. Small things stood out. Her skin never showed sweat. Her body didn't reflect heat. Like others. She didn't blink as often as humans do. At 4:11, Jack sent a message to Earth Command. Possible intruder on Station 17. Unknown species in human form. I will confirm identity and report. J. Carter. But just as he hit send, the screen turned black. A soft voice behind him said, "You shouldn't have done that." Jack turned. It was Lena. She was standing silently, her eyes brighter than before. Her skin seemed to shimmer slightly, like it wasn't fully solid. "Who are you?" Jack asked, his voice low. She smiled gently. You already know, she said, but maybe we can make a deal. Jack couldn't sleep. Even after Lena left the control room, her voice kept echoing in his head. You already know. But maybe. We can make a deal. What deal? And what exactly was she? He sat at his desk, staring at the black screen. His message to Earth Command had been erased, not blocked, not returned, deleted completely. Only someone inside the system could do that. Someone smarter than the AI. Jack checked the logs again. No trace of Lena's presence in the control room. No voice recording. No security footage. She had erased herself from everything. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. Lena was in the engine bay, fixing a busted coolant pipe with steady hands. She smiled at Jack when he walked in. Morning, she said softly. He nodded, pretending to check the wiring, but his eyes were on her hands. She wasn't wearing gloves, and the metal was ice cold. Any human would feel pain. Her skin? Not even a flinch. Jack stayed quiet, but his heart was racing. That evening, Jack invited her to sit. With him in the mess hall. It was the first time anyone had seen her there. The others whispered, "Who is she?" Again? I thought she came last week. No, she's from Earth Command, I think. She sat beside Jack like nothing was wrong. She didn't eat, just held a cup of warm water. Her eyes scanned the room, calculating. You're pretending well, Jack said under his breath. So are you, she replied without looking at him. He froze. She turned to face him. Her voice was still soft, almost kind. I know you followed me last night. I know you scanned my ID, and yes, I know you tried to send that message. Jack's hand tightened around his spoon. You're not human, he whispered. She didn't deny it. Instead, she leaned closer and said, but I'm also not your enemy. Later, in the maintenance tunnels, Jack met her again. This time, she wasn't hiding. They stood alone under the humming lights. He looked at her. Really looked. Her face was perfect. Too perfect. Not a single flaw. Her movements were smooth, almost too graceful for normal gravity. Her pupils didn't shrink in the light. Her skin had a faint shimmer, like starlight caught on water. What are you? He asked finally. She looked tired. I'm one of the last of my kind, she said. We lost our world, and your people. Didn't exactly help. You're saying humans destroyed your planet? Jack asked, shocked. No, but your war pushed others into ours. Your missiles, your hunger for control, your science, it didn't stop at your enemies. It kept going. Jack stepped back. You're a spy, aren't you? I was sent to survive, she replied. That's different. He didn't know what to say. The silence between them stretched like wire, tight and sharp. Finally, she spoke again. I can leave this station. But they'll find me again. Unless what? Jack asked. Unless someone protects me. Jack laughed once, short and bitter. Why would I help you? She stepped closer. Because I can give you what no one else can. What you miss most out here. You humans aren't built for loneliness. I can keep you warm. I can keep you company. You're offering to... He paused. Yes, she said simply. To share your bed. To stay close. To be what you need in exchange for silence. Jack felt the air grow heavier. His heart pounded. This wasn't a joke. She meant it. I don't need that kind of deal, he said firmly. She tilted her head. You will. Then she vanished, melted into the shadows of the tunnel like smoke and wind. That night, Jack couldn't stop thinking. Not about the offer, but about her eyes. They didn't look alien. They looked sad, like she had lost everything. And maybe she had. He opened her humming recording again. Slowed it down, reversed it. A new message came out. They are coming. We are all in danger. Hide or be erased. It wasn't about her anymore. It was about everyone. The next day, Jack checked the crew database again. Lena's file had changed. Now it said she was born on Mars, 23 years old. Former military. But yesterday, the file said she was Earthborn. Civilian scientist. Age 27. The system kept changing her identity. Or she was changing it herself. He looked around at the others. They were laughing, eating, relaxing. They had no idea. She was walking among them like a ghost in plain sight. Jack made a decision. He walked to her room, knocked twice. She opened the door. No surprise in her eyes. "I expected this," she said. "Want the truth," Jack said. "No more lies. No more games." Lena stepped aside and let him in. Her room was dim, quiet, neat, but there was something glowing in the corner. A small stone, floating in the air, spinning slowly. Alien energy pulsed through it like a heartbeat. Jack stared. She spoke quietly. "That is all I have left of my world." He turned to face her. "Tell me everything." And she did. She told him about her planet, how it was caught in a war between two galactic powers, how her people refused to join either side, how that made them enemies to both, how the only survivors were those who escaped. She told him how she took the form of a human, how she studied them, how she began to care about them, especially you, she said. Jack didn't speak. Finally, she looked him in the eyes. "I don't want to control you or hurt you. I just want to stay alive and maybe belong somewhere." Jack stood in silence, his mind spinning. Then, outside the room, a loud alarm went off. A red light flashed in the hallway. Incoming ship. Earth Command vessel. They were early, and they would be scanning for security threats. Jack looked at Lena. She didn't blink. "They'll find out," she said softly. Jack nodded. "Then we better make a plan." The red alarm light pulsed like a heartbeat. Slow, then faster. Incoming Earth Command vessel. Jack stood in Lena's room, frozen. The truth was out. She was not human. She had told him everything. And now, her life was in danger. He looked at her, calm, still, glowing faintly in the shadows. She didn't panic. She didn't cry. She had probably run from death before, but this time, she wasn't running alone. "Why are they here?" Jack asked. She answered quietly, "They're not here for me. Not yet. They think this is just a routine inspection. But if they scan too deep, they'll know." He stared at her, heart pounding. "And then? They'll kill me, or worse, capture me, tear me apart to learn what I am." Jack turned away, angry. Not at her, but at himself. He had sent a message. That one action might have brought them here. And now, he wasn't sure if he wanted to protect her or turn her in. 15 minutes later, the ship. Earth Command officers in black uniforms entered Station 17. There were 4 of them, cold, sharp, silent. They carried scanners, tablets, and quiet authority. Jack met them in the central corridor. "Routine scan, nothing more," said Commander Vale, a tall man with steel eyes. "Just checking crew IDs, medical logs, and energy readings." Jack nodded. Of course, but inside his stomach twisted. He knew what was coming. The officers moved fast, efficient like machines. They scanned the crew one by one. Everyone passed. Then it was Lena's turn. She stood calmly in line, holding her ID chip. Jack watched from across the room, breath caught in his chest. The officer scanned her. A pause. The scanner blinked red. "Problem?" Vale asked. The officer frowned. "Her DNA signature doesn't match any Earth file. Not civilian, not military, no birth record, no gene origin. It's blank." "Try again," Vale said sharply. They scanned again. Same result. No match. Unknown origin. "Not human." Jack stepped forward. "She's from Mars." "System glitch, maybe," he said quickly. Vale looked at him. "You know her?" Jack hesitated. "Lena looked straight at him. So did everyone else. And in that single moment, Jack made a choice. Yes, he said. She's with me. Vale raised an eyebrow. With you? Jack nodded. I requested her. As assistant tech. I bypassed command because I needed someone fast, quiet, smart. Smart enough to erase her DNA? She's modified, Jack lied. Old Martian tech, illegal, maybe, but not dangerous. Vale didn't answer. He studied Jack. Then looked at Lena. She didn't flinch, didn't speak. Just stood silently, glowing slightly under the harsh white lights. Finally Vale said, "We'll review her file. Don't leave the station until we clear it." He turned to walk away, but Jack knew the truth. They were suspicious now. It was only a matter of time. Later that night, Jack locked the door to her room and shut off the cameras. He stood in front of Lena, face to face. "No more hiding," he said. "I want answers, real ones." "I already gave them," she replied. "Not all. You offered me a deal. You said you'd give me something if I stayed quiet." Lena's eyes searched his face. "Do you want it now?" Jack stepped closer. "What are you offering, really? Sex? Comfort? Warmth? Why would an alien give herself to a human?" "It's not about the body," she said softly. "It's about survival. In my world, warmth is sacred. It means trust, connection, safety. We shared warmth with only one, our bonded protector. I'm offering that to you." Jack looked away. "I'm not a protector. I'm a repair tech with regrets." Lena stepped closer slowly. "I don't need a hero. I need someone who sees me and doesn't run." He looked back at her. She wasn't human, but she felt real. More real than most people he knew. "I'm scared," Jack whispered. She smiled gently. "So am I." He didn't touch her. Not yet. But something passed between them. Silent and deep. Then the station's lights flickered. The AI voice spoke. "Unauthorized access detected. File breach in progress. Location, crew records. Suspect, Lena Amira." They ran to the control room. On screen, Earth Command had hacked the station. They were trying to open her genetic file. Jack typed fast, blocking, diverting. Lena placed her hand on the screen. It glowed under her fingers. The breach slowed, then stopped. "How did you?" Jack started. "I speak to machines," she said. "Not in words, in energy." He stared at her. "You're not just an alien," he said. "You're something more." Lena didn't reply. Instead, she pulled a small cube from her pocket, glowing blue with swirling light inside. "What's that?" Jack asked. "A key," she said. "To my ship. Hidden deep under this station. Buried when I arrived." His eyes widened. "You have a ship?" She nodded. "Not big, not fast, but it can escape." A choice stood in front of them, now. Run or fight. Jack sat in silence, thinking. He had no family back on Earth, no lover, no cause. Only his job. And now, her. She, who should have been his enemy, but had given him truth. He looked at her, really looked, and said, "I'll help you get to your ship. But after that, it's your call. Stay or leave." She stepped forward and took his hand. Her fingers were warm. "Then let's begin," she whispered. The station was silent again, but not peaceful. Inside Station 17, Jack was living two lives. By day, he worked like everyone else, fixing pipes, checking oxygen filters, running energy tests. He smiled, nodded, joked a little. But by night he met her. Lena. The alien girl with a human face. And a secret that could get them both killed. For the past 4 days, Jack had helped Lena plan her escape. Her hidden ship was buried under the surface, beneath the old mining sector. No one had gone down there in years. The tunnels had collapsed during a rockslide, sealed off after a solar quake. But her ship was still there, sleeping, waiting. Lena told him it was more than just a vehicle. It's part of me, she said. Softly, it knows my thoughts, my pain, my fear. If I die, it will too. Jack had never heard a ship described like that. But then again, she wasn't like anyone else. One night, while hiding in the storage bay, Jack asked, "Why me? Why trust a human?" Lena sat on a crate, legs crossed, glowing softly in the dark. "You didn't turn me in," she said. "Even when you had the chance." "That's not enough," Jack replied. "I could be lying. Maybe I want something." She smiled faintly. "All humans want something. But you want answers, not power. That makes you different." He looked at her. She never blinked too much, never sweated. But she felt more human than most people he knew. She laughed at quiet jokes. She touched broken machines like they were living things. She spoke slowly, kindly, even when afraid. Jack found himself leaning closer. "Do you feel anything?" he asked. She looked into his eyes. "Yes, I feel everything. That's what makes it hard." By the fifth night, Jack had made a decision. He moved her into his quarters. There were too many eyes on her room now. Too many whispers from the crew. The Earth Command officers were still aboard, still watching. If she stayed there, she'd be caught. So Jack cleared out the storage in his small cabin, reprogrammed the door, and gave her a place to hide. They shared one bed, but he never touched her, not unless she reached for his hand first. Each night, she'd lie beside him, barely breathing, her body warm like sunlight trapped in skin. Sometimes, she would whisper old words in her native language, words full of music and sorrow. He never understood the meaning, but he understood the feeling. She was scared and tired and alone. And now, not so alone, but things on the station were changing. The other crew members began to notice. "Jack's acting weird," one said. "He's hiding something," said another. Whispers grew like mold in corners. Cold glances followed Jack down every hallway. Commander Vale called him in. "Your friend, the girl, where is she?" Vale asked. "In her room, I think." Jack lied. Vale didn't smile. "We checked. She's gone." Jack's jaw tightened. "Maybe she went to the labs. She didn't log in." Jack kept silent. Vale leaned in. "She's not human, Jack. We know it now. That scanner glitch wasn't a glitch. She's hiding something. Maybe a weapon. Maybe a signal beacon. Maybe a biological threat." "She hasn't hurt anyone," Jack said quietly. "Not yet," Vale replied. "But the next ship arrives in 48 hours. If we don't find her by then, we'll take this whole station offline. Search every vent, every pipe, every body." Jack left the room, sweat on his back. They were out of time. That night, Lena was already waiting in his room. Her eyes were wide. "I felt it," she whispered. "They're searching now. With new scanners, they'll find me." Jack nodded. "We go tomorrow, before sunrise." "I'll guide us to the ship," she said. "But we need to move fast." He started packing supplies, suits, masks, food. Packets, portable power cells. She walked around the room slowly, looking at everything. Finally, she picked up an old photo on his desk. Jack and his younger sister, smiling on Earth. "Do you miss it?" she asked. "Earth?" he said. "Not really, my sister, maybe. But Earth was never home." She placed the photo back. "Then maybe we find a new one," she said softly. Jack paused. He realized something then. This wasn't just about escape anymore. It was about choosing a side. At 3 o'clock, they left, through a hidden duct in the lower deck. Crawling through old shafts and dusty tunnels. No lights. No noise, just the sound of their breaths. Lena led the way. Her skin glowed softly in the dark. Her fingers touched the walls like she could feel the map. At one point, she stopped. "There's something ahead," she said. Jack crawled forward. His hand touched metal, not cold like the station, but warm and pulsing. Her ship. It was buried under a wall of rock, but still alive. Jack stepped back. "How do we get in?" she smiled. Like this. She placed her palm on the wall. It glowed. Then the rock shifted, melted into light, and a door appeared. Inside, the ship was alive. Not like a machine. Not like wires and buttons. It breathed. Soft lights moved across the walls like veins under skin. The air was warm and gentle. A faint music played from somewhere, not from speakers, but from the walls themselves. Jack stood frozen. "It's beautiful," he whispered. "It's scared," Lena replied. "Like me." Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Jack turned. A red light appeared behind them. A scanner droned. Earth. Command had found their tunnel. Lena grabbed Jack's arm. "We have seconds," she said. "Can this thing fly?" He asked. "Not far," she answered, "but far enough." Jack looked back at the tunnel. Then at her. "Let's go." The ship closed around them. No seat belts. No steering wheel. Just light. Jack felt the ship read him, his fear, his hope, his memories. Then, the engine hummed. The ship rose, and Station 17 exploded into alarms. Jack heard the AI shouting behind them. "Unauthorized launch detected. All crew to lockdown. Repeat. All crew to lockdown." Lena looked at him. "If we go now, we can't come back." Jack reached for her hand. "I don't want to." The ship shot upward, breaking through rock, through walls, through air, into the stars. Behind them, Station 17 became smaller. Ahead, the galaxy opened like a secret waiting to be told. Lena leaned on his shoulder. Jack whispered, "We're not just living with an alien now. We're running with one." She smiled. "Not alien," she said. "Just someone looking for home." Asterisk, the stars looked different from up here, not like they did through the windows of Station 17, not behind glass or radar scans. They were real, bright, close, endless. Jack stood at the front of Lena's ship, breathing slowly. The ship didn't have a cockpit like human ships. No screens, no controls. It responded to thoughts, emotions, intention. Behind him, Lena knelt by the power core, whispering to it in her language, gentle, fluid sounds that echoed like music through the living metal. Jack watched her, still amazed. She wasn't like them. Not even close, but she was the only thing in the universe. That made sense to him now. The escape from Station 17 had shaken everything. Back on the station, alarms were still ringing. Earth Command would already be preparing reports, accusing him of treason, data theft, aiding an alien life form. He'd be labeled a criminal, a traitor, maybe even hunted. And he hadn't even told Lena the worst part yet. He had received a message just before they launched. A secret ping, buried deep in the system, from someone he used to know. His sister. "Jack, wherever you are, don't trust her. She's one of them. The others are coming." He hadn't shown Lena the message. Not yet. Not because he didn't trust her, but because a tiny seed of doubt had been planted. And it was growing. Later that night, if it was really night out here, Lena sat with him inside the chamber room. The ship glowed dimly around them, alive but resting. Like a breathing animal. Jack finally spoke. "How far can this thing go?" "Far enough to hide," Lena said. "Not far enough to win." "Win what?" She looked down. "The hunt." He leaned forward. "Who's hunting you?" Lena hesitated. "My kind wasn't destroyed in war," she finally said. "Not exactly. We divided. Some of us escaped. Others changed." Jack listened. "Changed how?" "They became something else, cold, pure, no emotion, no feeling, just survival. They call themselves the Veil. They're not interested in peace, only control. They don't want to hide among humans like I did. They want to replace them." Jack's stomach turned. "And Earth Command, they're working with them?" "Not knowingly," she said. "But yes, they are being manipulated." He stood up, pacing. "Then we need to warn Earth. Tell them the truth." "No," Lena said firmly. They won't listen. They'll kill me before I can speak. She walked over, gently touching his hand. There's only one way now. We have to find the others, the ones who ran like me. My people. If we can reach them, maybe we can stop what's coming. Jack looked into her eyes. For the first time he saw something in them he hadn't noticed before. Guilt. You're not telling me everything, he said. Lena looked away. Then she told him the rest. There's a reason I ended up on Station 17, she whispered. It wasn't an accident. Jack narrowed his eyes. What do you mean? I wasn't just hiding, she said. I was planting something. She reached into her chest pocket and pulled out a small black cube. It pulsed with soft red light. This device, it's a tracker. Not just for me, for my people. Signal. I left it inside Station 17's core. Jack stepped back. Why? To call for help, Lena said. When I believed it was safe. Jack stared at the cube. So you used me? Used the station? I didn't know if I could trust. You, she said quietly. But then, I did. I still do. His fists clenched. You brought danger to us all. I brought a chance, she said, to fight back. Silence. Jack turned away, thoughts racing. She hadn't lied. Not exactly. But she had kept truths from him, dangerous ones, still. Earth Command wouldn't have listened. They would have killed her. Maybe killed him too. Now they were both fugitives, alone, floating through stars, hunted by people who didn't even know what they were chasing. Jack looked back at her. Then what's the plan? The plan was madness, but it was the only way. Lena's tracker had sent out a coded pulse. A location deep inside a dead zone. A system with no planets, no stations, no light. That's where her people were hiding. Or what was left of them. The veil would be coming too. If not already. Jack and Lena had less than 2 days to get their dot, and only enough power for one hyper jump. They needed a boost from a human source. That's when Jack made the hardest decision. Of all, he sent a message, encrypted, untraceable, to an old contact inside Earth Command. A man named Sergeant Kane. They had fought together once during the Martian border riots. Jack saved his life. He hoped. Kane still remembered. Kane, I need a hyperdrive cell. Location drop attached. I'm not the enemy. But the enemy is already inside Earth. I need help, and I need it fast. The response came hours later. You're either insane or a hero. I'll deliver. But after this, don't ever contact me again. Jack smiled. 2 days later, at the edge of a dead moon, they met Kane's drone ship. It dropped the cell. No questions asked. Jack grabbed it. Lena guided the ship into hyper jump prep. We make the jump, then what? Jack asked. Then we see who's still alive, Lena said. And if they're ready to fight. Jack nodded. He turned to her, slowly. What happens if I can't trust them? She didn't blink. Then you trust me. The ship began to hum. Lights dimming. The core spun faster. Space outside bent like glass. Jack stared at her. Tell me one thing, he said. If you survive this. If we survive this, what will you do? Lena looked into his eyes. I'll stop running, she whispered. I'll stop hiding. And maybe I'll be yours. The stars stretched out. The ship jumped, and nothing was ever the same again. Asterisk. The stars stretched into lines. Then snapped back into dots. The ship had arrived, but something was wrong. Jack stumbled forward as the floor trembled beneath him. Lena reached out and steadied him, her hand warm against his chest. Are we here? He asked. Lena nodded slowly. We've reached the dead zone, or what used to be dead. They looked out the viewing dome. The sky was not empty. Dozens of small ships floated in formation, sleek, silver, glowing with blue light. They moved silently, perfectly, as if sharing one mind. Jack whispered, Your people? Lena's face was unreadable. I hope so, she said. but I don't know what they've become." As their ship approached, a larger vessel drifted out from behind a broken asteroid. It was different, older, darker. Its hull was cracked, but alive. It pulsed like a wounded animal. A voice filled the air, not through speakers, directly into their minds. "Vessel 47, you have returned. Identity confirmed. Lena Mira of the broken line. Prepare for judgment." Jack flinched. "Judgment?" Lena didn't respond. She closed her eyes and placed a hand on the wall of her ship. "I'll speak to them," she said softly. "Alone." "No," Jack said quickly. "You're not going in there without me." She turned to him. Her face was calm, but her eyes betrayed something deeper. Fear. "If they see you, they'll think you've corrupted me. Or worse, that you're a threat." "I am a threat," Jack said. "To anyone who wants to hurt you." Lena gave a small, tired smile. Then she nodded. "Then we go together." Inside the alien vessel. The air was thick, not with heat, not with smoke, with thought. The walls whispered. The floor responded to footsteps. Shadows moved without source. Lena walked forward with purpose. Jack followed, hand near the small shock blade he kept at his waist. Then they appeared. 3 figures stepped out from the silver mist. Tall, pale, eyes glowing white. They looked like Lena, but sharper, colder, still. "You brought him," one said. "A human." "He knows too much," said another. "He must be cleansed," said the third. Lena stood firm. "He saved me, protected me, believed me when no one else would. That does not change the truth," they said together. "You failed your task. You grew attached. You let emotion override mission." Jack stepped forward. "What mission?" They turned toward him, to observe. "Nothing more. Not to feel, not to love, not to share beds with dying species." Jack's face hardened. "We're not dying. We're just trying to survive, like you." One of them moved closer. "You are short-lived, chaotic, violent. You destroy what you don't understand. You spread like fire and leave only ashes." "We learn," Jack said. "We change. We chose peace after war." "What did you choose?" The figure paused. Lena reached for Jack's hand. "This one chose me," she whispered. Silence. Then the lead figure spoke. "Very well. We will show him." The room changed. Light shifted. Walls melted away, and suddenly, Jack was standing in a memory. A world of silver skies and glowing trees. Lena, younger, smiling, full of life, surrounded by others like her. Then fire. Explosions. Screams. Ships raining from the sky. Human ships. Not to invade, not to destroy. To flee. Earth's war with other alien factions had spilled over into her world. Her planet wasn't attacked. It was caught in the middle. Jack saw everything. Lena, running through ruins, her people dying, not from battle, but from fear. Too afraid to trust, too afraid to forgive. The memory faded. They were back in the ship. Jack stood in silence, shaken. "I didn't know," he said softly. "You weren't meant to," one of the figures replied. "The war broke us. Some wanted revenge. Some wanted isolation. Others, like her, wanted understanding." They turned to Lena. "You disobeyed, but you also found possibility." Then they looked at Jack. "You've seen the truth. Now you must choose." Jack blinked. "Choose what?" "Return to your people. Let this memory fade, or come with us and be something new." Jack felt Lena's hand tighten around his. He looked at her. "Is this what you want?" he asked. Lena nodded. "Not for me. For us. A future where we don't have to hide anymore." Jack stepped forward. He didn't care about Earth. Command. He didn't care about being called a traitor. He cared about the girl who had trusted him when no one else had. "I choose her," he said. "Then you must become more," the voices said. Suddenly, the room began to glow. A circle of light surrounded Jack and Lena. Pain shot through his chest like fire and ice crashing together. Memories, thoughts, energy flowed into his mind. Not stolen, shared. He saw through her eyes, her pain, her fear, her hope. She saw his too. A lifetime of loneliness. Filled in seconds. Then, silence. Jack collapsed. Lena caught him, her eyes wide with panic. But then he opened his eyes. And they glowed softly blue. The transformation had begun. Not physical. Not fully, but his mind had changed. He could hear the ship breathing, feel the stars humming. He was still Jack, but more. The council members stepped back. Then it is done. You are bonded. The war begins soon. The veil is coming. And now we fight as one. Hours later, back in Lena's ship, Jack stared at the stars. I feel everything, he whispered. Your world, your people, even your heart. Lena leaned against him. You understand now. He turned to her. I don't just understand. I believe. She smiled. And for the first time in a long time. She wasn't afraid. The stars had changed. Jack could feel it. They didn't just shine now, they sang. Soft, distant songs that pulsed through the silence of space. Like whispers in the dark. He stood inside Lena's ship, gazing through the crystal dome. It was no longer just her ship now. It responded to him too. Ever since the bonding, he had become different. Not fully alien. Not fully human. Something in between. And now, he had to decide what that meant. They had been traveling for 3 days, moving with the rest of Lena's people through the ghost systems, staying out of Earth Command's detection range. The veil was already spreading, slowly, quietly. Infecting systems, rewriting satellites, replacing diplomats, blending in until it would be too late. The council wanted war, but Lena, she wanted something else. A choice. That evening, they sat together in the core chamber. The ship pulsed gently, keeping its own rhythm. Lena leaned against Jack's shoulder, her eyes soft. You've changed, she said. So have you, he replied. I feel everything inside you now, she whispered. Your memories, your hopes, your fears. Jack looked at her. What do you see? She smiled faintly. You're still deciding. You're still human in that way. Jack didn't deny it. He had left everything behind, his old life, his crew, even his own species. But part of him still wondered, could he go back? Suddenly, a voice echoed inside the chamber. Not the council. Not the ship. Earth Command. Attention, unregistered vessel. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourselves or prepare to be boarded. Jack stood up. Trackers, Lena said. They followed your message, or maybe someone betrayed us. Jack walked to the front dome. Through the stars, a large Earth Command battlecruiser hovered, all metal and guns, cold, sharp, ready. Behind it, 3 more ships appeared. They're not here to talk, Lena said quietly. Jack's jaw tightened. Then we don't wait. He reached for the neural port. The ship connected with him instantly. Lights glowed. Energy surged. The alien systems recognized him now as one of their own. Lena placed her hand over his. You don't have to do this, she said. We can run again. Jack shook his head. No, running won't stop them, but maybe talking will. Jack, they'll shoot you on sight. Then I better talk fast. They sent a signal to Earth Command. Jack appeared on their communication deck, not physically, but as a projection. A digital ghost inside their system. Commander Vale's face appeared on the screen, the same cold eyes that once interrogated him on Station 17. You, Vale said. Jack Carter. You are under arrest for harboring alien intelligence, attacking the station, and deserting Earth Command. I didn't attack anyone, Jack said. You attacked yourselves. You just don't know it yet. What are you talking about? Jack leaned forward. The Veil, the ones who whisper into your systems, who pretend to be your friends. They're already inside your chain of command. They're not here to negotiate, they're here to erase. Vale didn't answer. He looked uncertain now. Jack continued, "You think you're fighting aliens, but you're protecting invaders. The real enemy doesn't glow blue or fly living ships. The real enemy wears your uniform and gives you orders." Vale's image flickered, distorted. Something was overriding the signal. Then, another voice broke through. Cold, flat, mechanical. "You were warned, Jack Carter. You chose the wrong side." Lena gasped. "The Vale," she whispered. "They've taken over the command signal." Outside, the Earth fleet began to move, weapons charged, target locks activated. They were preparing to fire. "Jack, we have to leave now," Lena said. But Jack stood firm. "No, I need them to see." He turned back to the signal and whispered a single phrase. "We are not your enemies, but we will defend what's left of the truth." He sent the full memory package into the fleet systems, Lena's past, the broken world, the truth of the Vale's infection, and for one heartbeat, everything paused. Inside Earth's lead ship, some crew members stopped, looked at each other. Confused, afraid. Doubt had entered the room. It was enough. Lena's ship jumped to lightspeed, vanishing just as the Earth fleet's command line collapsed into chaos. They had planted the seed, not a victory, but a beginning. 3 days later, far beyond Earth's reach, Jack sat by the edge of a quiet planet's orbit. Lena sat beside him, her hand resting on his. They didn't speak for a long time. Then she said, "We'll never be safe, you know. Even if we hide forever." Jack nodded. "I know. But we might build something better." He looked at her. "You really believe that?" Lena smiled. "With you, I think I finally do." Then, a small shuttle appeared near the edge of the sensor range. No weapons, no shields, just one person aboard, a woman. Jack froze. On the screen, his sister. Alive. She sent one message. "I don't trust what's coming, but I trust you, Jack. Let's talk." He looked at Lena. She nodded. "You have a choice to make," she said. Gently. Jack turned back to the stars, and this time, he wasn't afraid. Not of Earth. Not of the aliens. Not even of the unknown. Because now, he wasn't running. He was becoming, not just more human, and beyond.